As anybody can see, I'm almost a master at evading the punches coming at me. If anybody saw all of my fights, I don't get hit.
In boxing, the name of the game is to hit and not get hit.
Oh, and he goes down with a stunning right. A stunning right cross.
Welcome back to SMB Boxing, and today we are looking at some of the best defensive displays and sequences that took place in the squared circle.
Nah, you can't hit me.
For this list, we are looking at defensive skills such as footwork, blocking, parrying, slipping, shoulder roll, rolling, and counterpunching.
What a shot by Evander Holyfield! It was a twisting right.
When you think of a defensive fighter from the modern boxing era, you think of Floyd Mayweather.
It's 110 of 164, 67% rate for Floyd Mayweather.
You see how Mayweather was able to stick his jab in between all those quick jabs of Roberto.
One of Mayweather's signature moves was the pull counter.
Nice straight right counter by Mayweather.
Here's a simple breakdown of the move. Mayweather purposely draws a jab from his opponent, which he evades by slightly pulling his head away. He then counters with a fast, straight right hand.
Put the other one up against the ropes and try to work him there.
Although Mayweather is not the only fighter to effectively use a pull counter, it's the speed and power and accuracy that makes his version of the move the best that boxing has ever seen, and that's why it deserves its own place on the list. Here are some of the best pull counters that Mayweather landed throughout his career.
Oh, and he goes down with a stunning right. A stunning right cross. Oh, another right, and he goes down again. Another big right.
So he can get back in the fight with one punch. That's it.
I don't think Floyd's worried about his punches anymore.
That's it.
Look like 3 or 4 straight right hands.
Nick Durant is going to throw in the towel.
Right.
Nick Durant is showing him though the towel.
Oh, the counter right hand that landed flush.
Maitan's going to have to start feinting with that jab and throwing off the timing of Floyd because he's starting to hone in with that counter right hand.
When he wants to dig the shots in, spreads the feet. There's the right hand.
Superb.
The slightest move Marquez makes, Mayweather senses it, pulls himself away, the punch comes, and he's there to counter it.
Billy Joe Saunders put on a masterful display to beat David Lemieux in 2017.
Yeah, it's fun to watch Billy Joe Saunders work, so watching a web gen in baseball. Oh, and that's like watching a power hitter in baseball.
And that's what may cause him problems later in the fight if David can ever find his range.
Lemieux is completely out of his depth so far. Frequently follows instead of cuts off the ring.
Never gonna catch him like that.
Saunders repeatedly made Lemieux miss wildly, and on occasions taunted his lack of accuracy by putting his hand to his head and looking out to the crowd as if to say, "Where did that punch go?"
With him, it may only take one.
Yeah, but you know what though, Max? He's got to be willing to give one, to get that one sometime. Thanks to overhand he gonna throw. Yeah, we missed that straight right. Billy Joe looks at the crowd and says, "Who's he punching at? Somebody over there?" He has very good feet, and he keeps his hands high.
To fight the way Billy Joe Saunders does, you must have extraordinary reflexes. You can see it in the way he responds to everything Lemieux does in the ring.
Pressure Billy Joe backwards. He making Billy Joe stand his ground, and Billy Joe just hurt David Lemieux with a left hand standing his ground.
But it's hurt him twice in the round.
Yes.
Lemieux appeared to me between rounds, Roy, to be in something of a state of shock.
He is.
And still, WBO middleweight champion of the world, still undefeated, the superb Billy Joe Saunders.
Since signing with Golden Boy Promotions in 2010, Saul Canelo Alvarez's career has gone from strength to strength. Even a setback against Floyd Mayweather made him a better fighter.
Yo no quería que salir aquí con una derrota, quería salir con la mano en alto. La verdad me pega en el orgullo y así es esto y hay que seguir para adelante. Muchas cosas se aprendieron hoy.
Canelo won the vacant WBC Super Welterweight title against Matthew Hatton in 2011 and successfully defended the belt 5 times before taking on WBA champion Austin Trout in a unification fight in 2013. Throughout the 12 rounds, Canelo landed the cleaner shots and showed some swift upper body movement to avoid many of Trout's punches.
Good head movement by Canelo, avoiding the brunt of that attack by Trout. 15 seconds now left, so Canelo utilizing head movement. Canelo backs up from the counter shot from Trout.
Trout's controlling this round, and Canelo keeping his hands very low.
You know, Al, you made a point with those body shots Trout's throwing.
Canelo doing a good job, though, of avoiding a lot of the punches.
Take advantage of Canelo taking the rest of his rest time.
And is Trout landing enough punches solidly to win these rounds?
There's a 1-2 combination by the southpaw. He gets jacked to the jaw again by the uppercut. That right uppercut finds the chin of Trout again.
A 7th round knockdown put a cherry on top of Canelo's slick performance, and after the final bell, he was awarded a points decision victory.
You know, he boxed a lot better than I thought. You know, he moved a lot better than I thought. Not that I was underestimating him, but we were just prepared for a totally different fighter.
James Toney's domination of Iran Barkley is widely regarded as the best performance of his career. From the opening bell, Toney displayed great defense, and his sharp counter-punching helped to bust up Barkley's face.
Very smart. Toney landed his shots and moved out of the way.
And the mouthpiece is knocked completely out of Barkley's mouth by the fabulous right cross from Toney. And here comes Iran stepping in without his mouthpiece, showing his courage and his resiliency against Barkley's head. Look at the fast hands. This is brilliant stuff from James Toney.
If Toney would step around to the other side of the ring, he can see the vision problem that Barkley is having.
Barkley didn't get a chance to dab at the blood streaming from his nose while he got that glove rewrapped. Toney with the jab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of them. Barkley jabs back. Toney knocks the mouthpiece out again, this time with a short left hook.
With his left eye closed and his face badly swollen, Barkley's corner stopped the fight at the end of round 9.
The difference tonight, superior hand speed, superior counter-punching, superior boxing technique by James Toney.
No video about boxing defense would be complete without showing some Pernell Whitaker.
There's something for you. Not recommended unless you're as skilled as Whitaker.
During what would turn out to be a controversial defeat to Oscar De La Hoya, Sweet Pea memorably made De La Hoya hit nothing but thin air in round 2 and then again at the end of round 4.
Is trying to push the pace and see how close he is to him here in this round as opposed to round 1.
And he's found a home for that right hand, almost clipped him with the left hand. You'd see Sweet Pea just dances around and makes it awkward, but Oscar doing a nice job here midway through the first round of this fight.
Dabbling with southpaw, see how long that lasts.
There's about 5 or 6 punches thrown at the bell there, and a couple of them landed.
And from that last round, Whitaker on the outside, Oscar going southpaw for a second. This is the last few seconds of the round, and then he tried to explode out of there. Whitaker did a shake and bake.
Yeah, just a little bit for the crowd. He wasn't hurt.
Thomas Hearns was well known for having fierce power, especially in his much vaunted right hand, but that didn't stop Wilfred Benitez from dropping his guard and using savvy head movements to avoid and take the sting out of Hearns' punches during their 1982 Super Welterweight showdown.
Knocked down 3 times. Harold Weston knocked him down. There's a good right hand by Hearns, but he can't double up on it. Almost every one of those missed except the first one. That was a good right hand. He got Benitez bouncing off the ropes and caught him, but not a lot of those are scoring. Not a lot scored as I saw it. We're going to take a look at that exchange again as Hearns tries to measure Benitez. Benitez normally likes to fight on the ropes and punch off the ropes, but in this case he's just being kept too busy, and if half the punches are landing, that's all that's necessary.
One of the most iconic moments of Mike Tyson's early career came when he rolled and slipped a barrage of punches from Reggie Gross and then knocked him out with a perfectly timed left hook.
What's the first knockdown here? You see Gross landing some punches there, and see how wild he is? He's wide open now to the left, and watch it. He feints, moving the body, moving the trunk around. Wide up with a uppercut, and now he's wide open for left hook. There he is, right there. The outstretched right arm.
En route to an impressive TKO victory against Armando Alvarez, Jaron Ennis showed off some smooth defensive moves.
Oh, good body shot. That backs Alvarez up. That clearly hurt him.
Ennis.
Ennis is really good body punch.
You see him over punching with his right hand. He's having fun though.
Yeah, he is.
In the third round, Ennis ducked and spun under a right-left combination, and then in a moment of showmanship, stood as still as a statue.
Got a combination with the head. That is starting to open up. How about that nifty move? He's having a good time in there. He's got the goods. There's no question about it. Alvarez in trouble again. His hands drop. And he goes to a knee, and that's it. It is over. 4 knockdowns. Ennis came and conquered and did it pretty easily.
In his prime, Roy Jones Jr. looked unbeatable. The Pensacola fighter possessed lightning-fast hands and feet, concussive punching power, and the reflexes of a puma. Against David Telesco in 2000, Jones Jr. showed all of the attributes just mentioned and threw in a bit of showboating for good measure.
Your orientation away. You have to reorient your expectations. Clean right hand by Jones.
And in addition to his speed, his creativity.
So far this comes out, however, under the heading of be careful what you wish for.
That showed Telesco throwing an average of 27 jabs around and landing only 4. You might wonder, how can a fighter do that? Hasn't done badly out of that southpaw stance. And dances for the crowd a little bit.
Now, Telesco, if you keep attacking, you're going to get hit. You can't help but get hit. This is a boxing match.
Nah, you can't hit me.
You cannot beat Roy Jones in a boxing match.
Now he's gone to the left jab.
This is the Telesco of early in the bout, throwing few punches, missing when he does.
Good.
Telesco going forward.
He had him hurt. Let him off the hook.
Jones is bombing him with these right hands. He really does want to finish with a KO.
Roy Jones Jr.
In 2006, Joe Calzaghe and Sakio Bika continued to throw punches after the bell at the end of round 2. Unfortunately for Bika, not only did none of his punches land on Calzaghe while the Welshman had his hands down, he also lost his balance and hit the canvas. Calzaghe then showboated around the ring.
One shot, straight on the button. Hands low, and another one. That time Bika just misses. The bell goes sometime just after this, and the punches just keep on going.
Well, Bika didn't like the shot he took after the bell from Calzaghe and just bit the bullet and went after him.
There are several different types of counter punches in boxing, and in part 1 of this series, we are going to take a look at the catch and counter. Here's a simple breakdown. The move occurs when a boxer catches or parries an opponent's punch, and then instantly throws and lands a punch of their own back.
Beneath the belt line of Callum Smith, but he didn't complain. And a left hook!
Here are some of the best catch and counters in recent memory.
And he has... Oh, what a big right uppercut! Lopez lands flush.
We're going to see Lopez right there. Nice catch and shoot right up the middle. The punch came from Magdaleno. He blocked it and came up right up the middle with the short uppercut. Beautiful shot.
I think as much as they would have liked. And in fact, we heard Chill Sullivan.
Face first goes Williams.
4, 5, 6. This one
what makes it amazing. Look at his roll. He rolls on this right hand, blocks the punch with the same hand, and comes with the uppercut. I actually thought he partially took the right hand at first. He actually didn't take the right hand at all. He actually blocks the punch with the same hand as he's rolling.
All the time, it's one of the things that drives him and makes him good.
It's one of the things that makes him best. He see Andre knock the jab down with his right hand, counter with a short 6-inch straight right hand, take the hook to the body, and come back with his own hook to the head after he blocks Sullivan's hook to the head.
Emmanuel Stewart would be proud. Catch and counter with the same hand.
What a technician.
He's putting a great performance. I never.
Huge say that. A massive punch has knocked Blackledge onto his back, and the referee immediately in there just to roll him over and get him into the recovery position. The doctor is in very, very quickly as well. Blackledge just a few yards away from us.
Dwight Muhammad QAWI's menacing style made him a nightmare for the 1980s light heavyweight and cruiserweight fighters. At 5'7", QAWI was undersized for the weights that he fought at, but he utilized his compact frame well and bobbed and weaved his head while relentlessly coming forward.
Dwight's determination shows in the ring. He's small for a light heavyweight, under 5'7". So at first you think he's going to be a plotter, taking a lot of punches to get inside. But he's an effective boxer, has good moves, he makes his opponent miss.
My motto, number one, with fighting is to hit very hard and be hard to hit. And, you know, and I try to live up to that, you know, and I get the punches in and I got the way. And that's the whole thing about boxing, you know. Make them miss and make them pay.
In a 1987 cruiserweight war against Evander Holyfield, QAWI skillfully made the real deal miss a numerous amount of power shots before giving him a trademark grin and firing back.
But he has all the momentum his way right now.
Alex, don't you think that more punches from Holyfield have gotten in beyond the defenses of QAWI in this fight than the tapes that we watched together?
And here's Holyfield.
But look there, Al. He missed about 10 consecutive punches. Just when you were talking about it, QAWI got underneath almost every punch from Holyfield and came back and landed punches of his own. You just have to watch Dwight very closely. People throw a lot of punches at him, but surprisingly few get home.
So far in his career, the current IBF super middleweight champion Caleb Plant hasn't put a foot wrong and has built up a 20-0 unbeaten record.
Sweet hands,
In 2016, the man known as Sweet Hands taught Adesat Rodriguez a sweet science lesson.
He's the national kickboxing champion. It's up to the referee's discretion. Yeah, exactly. That's what it states in the rules.
Caleb Plant brushing off the shoulders there, having fun, dancing, showing to the crowd that he's in control. Look at that. He just looks amazing in there.
This is now a title fight for you, so now you've upped the ante.
You know, one punch could change the fight, but I think he's doing a great job overall.
For a guy from Tennessee, he really impresses me with the swag that he fights with. I know Danny could appreciate the swag.
Yeah. Love the swag. That's what it's all about.
Look at that. Look at that.
What's coming after, so he's able to get away from it. Look at that. See, he's there. He knows how to get away from those punches so easy. That left foot in front of his opponent, controlling everything up the jab, making him miss so easy. Back to his jab, you know, back to his stand. Look at that. Look at how beautiful he makes him.
Caleb Plant.
Mark, I got a TKO.
He went the distance his past couple of fights, but not tonight.
Dmitry Pirog was not your typical stand-up European fighter. Influenced by years of studying American fighters such as Sugar Ray Leonard and Floyd Mayweather, the Russian honed a unique mix of orthodox pressure fighting with an unorthodox and awkward defensive movement.
Well, the first thing everybody who has seen him says about Dmitry Pirog, and this was clear on the tapes at which we looked, he is not the classic stand-up European fighter. No. He is a guy who bends at the waist, has a lot of movement, and he has watched American fighters constantly. You can see it in his style.
In 2010, Pirog displayed his elusiveness and upset Danny Jacobs to win the vacant WBO middleweight title.
Look at that.
Very, very relaxed. Trained in his corner in Victor Roundtree. Very, very good. I was going to say,
right hand by Pirog. Jacobs almost went down.
I was going to say, but he's going to have his hands full tonight trying to figure out a victory strategy for Jacob tonight.
Pirog's head is so elusive I think if I were in Jacob's corner, Emmanuel, I might beg him to focus on the body for a while.
Just watching the tapes of Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Look at the head movement there. You're fighting somebody from Russia. If you're looking for that stolid, stand-up, stationary style, not here. This guy is a mover.
It was low, but I don't think it was intentional, and I don't think it was...
Oh, down goes Jacobs on a perfect right hand,
right on top.
And that may be that. No way. Robert Byrd won't even finish the count, and Dmitry Pirog has just produced one of the shockers of the year.
Andre Ward was a fighter that could win a fight in so many different ways. Ward took various qualities from boxing greats that he had studied and incorporated them into his own unique, diverse style, which he described as formless, a nod to the martial arts legend Bruce Lee.
Some people, they don't know how to categorize my style, so they'll say, oh, he's got speed, or he's a good boxer. But you know, I'll use the phrase that Bruce Lee used before. I'm formless. I'm gonna be whatever I need to be.
In 2011, Ward met Carl Froch in the final of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic Tournament. Huge stakes were involved with the WBA, WBC, ring, and lineal super middleweight titles, all on the line.
What you gotta understand is, in this conversation or in our fight, you're not in control. And that's what you love to be in, and when you're not in control, you can't handle it.
I'm in control.
You try to out-talk people. You want to try to be philosophical, but then when I'm philosophical, I'm getting too deep. You're not in control. You don't control
a simple question.
What I say and my responses. You stay on your side of the table and you answer the way you want to, and I'm gonna do the same thing.
On the night of the fight, Ward had all the moves to negate Froch's offense on the inside and the outside, and he was able to consistently beat the Englishman to the punch.
Froch questioning Ward's convictions.
Now right there, this is where Andre Ward people believe that he have an advantage over Carl Froch.
You know, this fight is being fought. Oh, nice hook by Ward.
There's some good counter punches. And inside, there's really...
Ooh, nice left hook. Digging deep. Yeah. Big right hands. Fighters fight on the inside. Let's see if Froch can defend. Body shot by Ward. Now, Froch looking at Smoger, and Smoger is not helping him. Ward, left hook, rolls, Froch answering. This is what you want to see in a championship bout. Left hook, uppercut, left hand. Andre Ward ends with a clean combination. And the WBA and WBC super middleweight titles. Oh, he hurt Froch with that left hook. He should be busier than just landing 25 or 30 punches more. 5 punches by Froch, none of them connecting. Right hand, beautiful left hook, beautiful. Carl Froch, another left hook by Ward. Froch back on his heels now. Inside, Andre Ward, shortening everything up. Rolling, another countering left hook. Backs up Froch. Underneath the left eye of Ward. Straight right hand getting in for Andre.
Andre Ward is not just, he's not giving in to him. He's not being tricked by any of it. He's going to have to just, like I said, let his hands go and hope that he can land a bomb.
He's only behind by 2 punches landed in this round. Oh, sneaky left hook again. And Ward is fine with this pace at this point in the fight.
Andre S.O.G.
We've previously shown both fighters and mentioned this fight, but there's no doubt that Floyd Mayweather's 12 rounds of defensive artistry against a young and unbeaten Saul Canelo Alvarez deserves an extended look.
30 seconds left. Doing his best to do just that, but again, a quick counter left hand by Mayweather, showcasing his still very formidable speed. Round begins. Floyd Mayweather in the blue snakeskin counter right hand connects on the jaw of Canelo Alvarez. And counter right. Mayweather a master at cutting off the ring, and his counter punching sublime.
Sometimes after counter punching, you get help. Neither guy helping the other in the counter punching department.
Good boxer, but he's fighting the best boxer of his generation. That's why it's 6-1 in rounds on my card. 5-1 in rounds.
Great point, Steve Arden. Actually, what I was maybe trying to lead Bolly into, the fact that he is the first legitimate. And Mayweather with the jab, sticks the right hand, and there's a counter left hook to the body by Canelo. But Mayweather keeping him at bay with the jab.
The change is the subtle change. There he goes bending down again. It makes it hard to hone in on the target if you're his opponent. He's masked it very well out. And Canelo, at this point, might know as Floyd looks out the ring at somebody, but...
Well, I think he was admiring the punch to the ropes by Canelo after he made a miss. Mayweather remains money in Las Vegas.
Despite being at the tail end of his career, Muhammad Ali proved that he could still float like a butterfly when he dodged 21 punches in 10 seconds during the first round of a special exhibition match against Michael Dokes.
Well, Ali is asking for it. Dokes is trying to give it to him. But Ali opens himself up as a human punching bag, and still they can't do any damage to it.
Nicolino Loach was nicknamed the Untouchable, and looking back at footage from his career, it's easy to see why. Loach first became a world champion in 1968 when he defeated Takeshi Fuji on his own turf in Japan. The Argentine's performance was one of the best displays of pure ring generalship in boxing history. Loach rarely utilized lateral movement during the fight and was able to avoid Fuji's power shots while in an almost stationary position. Additionally, the defensive maestro landed left hooks, right hands, and uppercuts of his own. After 9 rounds of barely touching Loach, a visibly exhausted and beat-up Fuji was pulled out of his corner and Loach was crowned the new WBA light welterweight champion. Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward went through hell during their epic 3-fight series. On top of taking brutal amounts of punishment over the course of 30 rounds, both men suffered bad cuts and broken bones and somehow got up from heavy knockdowns to make it out of rounds that almost looked impossible to do so.
This should be the round of the century.